Drone strikes have hit a major power station in the Sudanese city of Port Sudan, causing a complete power outage, the country's electricity provider said. Explosions and huge fires have been reported near the city's main international airport as a paramilitary force targeted the key city for the third consecutive day. Flights have been canceled after drones hit the international airport and a hotel near the current presidential palace. Reports say, "I see a huge cloud and fire go like all around the city, and I heard also now that there were like 2 more loud bangs. It looks quite apocalyptic," a journalist, Christina Carr, told the news agency. Thick black smoke could be seen at dawn on the skyline of the previously safe city, where thousands of people fleeing the 2-year civil war have sought refuge. On Tuesday, Sudan's electricity company said it was assessing the damage on its substation, which has disrupted supply of water, health, and other services. One drone targeted the civilian section of the Port Sudan airport, and another one hit the main army base in the center of the city, witnesses told AFP news agency. A third drone struck a fuel depot near the southern port, in the densely populated city center, where UN officials, diplomats, aid agencies, and Sudan's army have relocated from the capital Khartoum, AFP reported. A major hotel located close to the residence of Army Chief Gen Abdel Fattah al-Burhan was also hit in the attack, the witness said. Mariam Atta, a nutritional supervisor at a children's hospital in Port Sudan, described the moment she first heard the attacks. "We woke up to the roar of explosions and were terrified. We had never witnessed an attack before, but we saw the smoke rising, the fire. It was overwhelming." When asked whether she feared the attacks might happen again, she said, "Yes, we are afraid, and it's very likely to happen again. The fear is constant. As long as there's an intention to target Port Sudan and vital areas, and to intimidate civilians, these attacks will continue." Following the drone strikes, the UN has temporarily suspended aid flights to Port Sudan, but regular aid operations continue, said Farhan Haq, the UN deputy spokesperson. "None of our offices, premises, or warehouses have been impacted, and we continue to carry out our regular operations," Mr. Haq added. On Tuesday, Sudan's government spokesman Khaled al-Aser said the military was guarding the affected fuel depots to the fullest extent possible, adding that the will of the Sudanese people will remain unbreakable. The military has blamed the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, for the drone attacks which started on Sunday. The RSF is yet to comment on the attacks. In a statement, the African Union warned that the attack on Port Sudan represented a dangerous escalation in the Sudanese civil war and a direct threat to the lives of civilians, humanitarian access, and regional stability. Communiqué by the African Union on the attack of Port Sudan. The African Union has learned with deep concern and dismay of the recent violent attack on Port Sudan, a strategic city that has remained one of the few relatively stable zones in the Republic of the Sudan amid ongoing conflict. The African Union strongly condemns this attack, which represents a dangerous escalation in the ongoing conflict and a direct threat to the lives of civilians, humanitarian access, and regional stability. The African Union reiterates its firm commitment to protection of civilians and strongly denounces all acts that undermine peace efforts, disrupt humanitarian operations, or target vital infrastructure. Port Sudan has played a critical role as a logistical and humanitarian hub amid the current conflict. Any aggression targeting it not only threatens the safety of innocent people, but also undermines ongoing efforts to stabilize the country. The African Union renews its urgent call for an immediate ceasefire and the resumption of inclusive political dialogue under African leadership. It urges all parties to uphold international humanitarian law, ensure safe and unhindered humanitarian access, and commit to a peaceful resolution of the conflict. The African Union, through its high-level panel on Sudan, remains actively engaged in efforts to facilitate dialogue, mediate between the parties, and support national, regional, and international peace initiatives. The African Union calls on all stakeholders to support African-led mediation and to place the interests of the Sudanese people above all else. The African Union urges the international community to stand in solidarity with the Sudanese people and to intensify efforts aimed at restoring peace and stability in Sudan. The African Union will continue to monitor the situation closely and reaffirms its unwavering support for the people of Sudan in their pursuit of peace, dignity, and national unity. Prior to the attacks on Sunday, Port Sudan had avoided bombardment and was regarded as one of the safest places in the war-ravaged nation. The paramilitary group has increasingly relied on drones to reclaim its lost territories, including Khartoum, which was taken back by the army in March. The 2 years of fighting between the army and the RSF has killed thousands, forced millions from their homes, and created the world's worst humanitarian crisis. Both the army and RSF have been accused of war crimes. Thank you for watching. Like this video, comment your thought below, and make sure you subscribe for more.